Hi there, so my name is Sukian Jonathan Ook, and this is another episode of my BU MFA experience DP Weekly Diary. And this is where I talk about like my growth as a DP, like everything that's happened within like the past week, and pretty much just like a vlog, yeah, of my growth and everything. So this past week we learned about color temperature, and that is something that really interests me because I've, you know, done a lot of videos in the past, but I'm also doing photography, and color temperature is like one of the things that I'm really curious about that I never really understood too much. I understood what daylight temperature and tungsten, like, you know, all that stuff is, but I didn't know like how to um, based on the color temperature on the camera, like how you can make certain light look like as if it was summer or winter or things like that. So that was one of the things that we learned how to do, is to replicate what like a summer or a winter look would be like, based on color temperature. And using the lights and everything, like certain lights put out daylight temperature. So like if we wanted to make it look like as if it was like summer or like sunset or something like that, or like candlelight or something, we had to put a CTO. So we learned about color temperature, like I said, and then gels, and what gels can do to your light and the pros and cons of that. And it's pretty interesting because I come from just a humble undergrad education, and I didn't really dive deep into uh, all these things. So like CTO and like CTB and plus green, minus green, and all those things. It was a really really educational experience, to be able to set the color temperature on your camera and then make everything look the way that you want it to, based on either the like ambient light or the practical lights that are there, and the certain situations where you would need to either gel or like change a setting on your camera, like your color balance, so that in post you can edit it and make everything look the way that you want it to. So that was like really interesting and really educational, and I think I took a lot out of it, and I've been trying to apply it to this particular episode right now. So like with how everything looks, I'm hoping this captures somewhat of kind of like maybe like a spring like morning or like a summer morning kind of feel right now. So right now I'm not using any natural light at all. I'm using two LED lights right now, and the one in front of me um, has a CTO on it. The one behind me has a CTO. So if you see in the frame, there's a window frame here. I'm trying to replicate like morning light coming out of there. So this one, I believe I have it on the intensity. I believe I have like on the dimmer. I have it on 50%. So that's gonna be like my daytime light coming through the window. Um, and the one in front of me is kind of like is supposed to replicate like the light that would be bouncing around in the room, and my room is kind of like an off-white color, and it's not smooth but it has texture, so I'm trying to replicate like a natural bounce. And there's a window over here as well, so I'm trying to replicate that bounce. And the dimmer on this one is on 15% because I don't want it to be like the same intensity as the window, because it's bouncing around, and it wouldn't feel like it wouldn't feel natural to me. And my contrast ratio is, let's see, using my fancy app here, contrast ratio would be 2.8, 2.8 on this side, and 2.8 on this side. So that's a 1-to-1 contrast ratio right there. And that's what it should look like on camera. Hardly any shadows there. Very low contrast. Uh, high key high key look. So yeah, this is supposed to replicate somewhat of like a morning look right here with this lighting setup. And just like learning like about all these different things, we spent probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours learning about color temperature, gels, pros and cons of like gels, different lighting scenarios, like how you would light a particular scene, what would it make it look natural and things like that, and also how to be able to compensate for like the lighting that's already there. Like I think one of the examples that we used was like if you were in like a Walmart or like a big retail store like that, and they have all these fluorescent light fixtures, and you needed to adjust your um, like you needed to like adjust your color temperature on the camera, um, and like let's say like you brought one light with you that was a different like color temperature than than the fixtures. Like what would be the most easiest way to uh, uh, set your color temperature to be able to make everything look right in post? Because if you have two different color temperatures, it's gonna make your skin tones look weird. Fluorescent light gives off somewhat of a green, like a little bit of a green tint. So like would you put like a minus green on all of the fixtures, or would you just change your color temperature on your camera to uh, compensate for the fluorescent lights, and then you put like a minus green or magenta or whatever on the one light that you're using. So that is very educational, and it's something that I'm gonna have to do more of. So yeah, this is kind of like my little exercise. I only spent like about 30 minutes like setting this up. It's actually later in the afternoon right now, so I'm hoping this makes up for the look of kind of like an early morning, early spring, fall morning. That's all I got right now, and hopefully there'll be more examples of everything that I've learned, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'll catch you guys then.